does he get that kind of access? Because trust is involved. You would never get the kind of access you desire unless there's trust and relationship. You're trying to put you up on game.
In that running back room for Colorado. That is the rundown for this week here on the pregame show. Let's get into our guy. There he is. It's the beard that you fear. You must fear the beard of Uncle Neely. Banging the Tougaloo hat. Brother, that thing is sharp. Sharp.
Yeah. You know, Charlie Cole, we love our HBCUs. And you got your Jackson State helmet up there. And a good friend of mine, Earl Sanders, the head baseball coach at Tougaloo College, who is a Jackson State grad, first-round draft pick, Major League Baseball to the Toronto Blue Jays. He's the head coach over at Tougaloo, so he gave me some Tougaloo.
Shedeur Sanders in 2024. How big is this brand going to be heading into that season?
It's going to be humongous. I mean, we've already seen he's walking in fashion shows. He's closing all these deals last season. The question was his game going to translate from Jackson State, the FCS level, to Colorado? And he already proved that it can do that. So now he has a full offseason under his belt where he's been able to gain chemistry with, you know, the new offensive staff, the new altitude that he's playing in, and some of his offensive weapons over there in Colorado, plus going up against another level of competition and defenses. So I expect him to be much better than he was last season. And last season, he was a Heisman candidate. And like Unc said, you know, now he's going to have a much improved offensive line in front of him, protecting him. So I think it's going to be a big year, an exciting year. A lot of the hot names that were in front of him at quarterback are gone now. So I feel like he's the big dog. Well, might be gone after the draft, but he's the big dog left.
I mean, Neely, we're officially in the Heisman. The Heisman race is underway for 2024, and you know, last season, you know, maybe as the losses started to pile up, you know, Shedeur's name kind of fell out towards the end. But I think this season, every week, the Heisman is going to be a part of the conversation when you talk about Colorado and Shedeur Sanders.
I absolutely agree with that. The Heisman has become a QB award, but let's not forget that Travis Hunter is going to be right there in the mix as well. So you're going to have two players at Colorado who, before we get to week one, are going to be Heisman mentions and also going to be looked at as first-round draft picks. You know, arguably number 1 and number 2 in the draft, you picked the order right there in Colorado. But again, to echo on what Simone was saying, you know, this is another year that Shedeur has had in Colorado, adjusting to the altitude, gone are those injuries lingering from last year and getting sacked so many times, has spent this offseason spending time with his new offensive line, took him to Country Prime, that's Coach Prime's ranch in Texas, for a 4-wheeler weekend. You know, they have been bonding and hanging out, getting their strength and conditioning on together. So I'm looking forward to seeing them compete and get this offensive line depth chart started in late March, going into spring ball in April. But there's no mistaking that this line is exponentially better than the one we had last year. And that was a team that still almost got you to a bowl game. So big things popping in Colorado with the offensive line. DT2. Don't touch 2.
I thought the chef had got that for you. DT2. Don't touch seconds in line. That wasn't for you?
You know,
was thinking hard about
I got to tell you, Tolly, I'm a counterpuncher. You just got a good one in when I hit you back on.
I mean, you have to be looking forward to. I mean, look, you want to see the team win football games, obviously, but man, do you think the hype? It was so big last year. Is there any way it can match or exceed it this year? You go into a new conference. There's the expectation that there'll be, better results on the field. What is your anticipation for just the level of hype from week to week? Because last year was just like nothing we've ever seen for a college football program.
I think it's going to exceed last year. I think you're going to have even more eyes. Last year when you were able to be new to the program, Pac-12 was, shutting down, even though it had one of the best conference seasons in the history of the Pac-12 as far as people being ranked and what they were able to do leading into the national championship rounds. But I think it's going to be even bigger moving to the Big 12. Now you have a footprint that stretches to the east all the way to Cincinnati, Ohio, and all the way to Orlando, Florida. And so I think there are going to be more eyes on Colorado football. But here's the thing, Tolly. We start off with North Dakota State at home, go to Colorado State, and go to Nebraska. So 2 short road trips distance-wise, in-state rival and the out-of-state rival, the historic rival from the early Big 8 days and Big 12 days. I think more eyes are going to be on it. You're looking at more than likely another 3-0 start. And I think that's when people are going to say, okay, sit on the edge of your seat. Let's see what happens now. And after that 3-game start, Baylor comes to town for the first Big 12 matchup in this new conference alignment. So even more eyes are going to be on it, Tolly. It's not going to go down. It's only going to go up. Buy. This is not the time to sell.
All right, here's what I want.